of my sexy business team, and I am back for session number 2 in the Collaboration Summit. I am so excited about my next guest because she is absolutely magic when you are around her. She is so sweet, but let me tell you, don't be fooled by this little powerhouse. She's the chief dreamer and the repurpose queen of like online everything. She is amazing. So welcome Yong Pratt to session 2.
I'm so excited to be here with you, Kim. Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to start off by saying you are now a graduate of the Collaboration 101 class, and you have rocked in so many ways this class and how you are doing your business. I would love for you to just take a minute and maybe share something that you learned in the class.
Absolutely. So boiling it down to one thing for sure is difficult because the way that you've taught us, there's so many lessons in everything that we're doing, and that sometimes we realize after the fact, which is I know why you put those things in there. But one of the things that I really just kind of sticks out for me is that when you collaborate with somebody, it's an even exchange. You're not having to pay somebody, they're not having to pay you. And in my world previously to that, I think people were calling collaborations when they weren't, because there was an exchange of money. So I love this idea that 2 people or 3 or more could come to the table and they could create something that was mutually beneficial for everybody. And then on the back end, they'll all win. But in the front end, they don't need to pay, thousands of dollars to promote someone's product. So I just want to thank you for that, because I came in with those eyes, and that had been my experience before with collaboration, which I was a little bit, I don't know about that. I always wanted to do it, but when it came down to it, people were always asking me to give them things, and it just never felt good. So thank you for clarifying that, because now I have a much better understanding of what a true collaboration really is.
That blesses me, because that is one thing that I come up against a lot, is the fact that people have the wrong understanding of collaboration. Mm-hmm. If someone leads with the sentence, "If you buy my thing, I'll collaborate with you," that is not a collaboration. They're selling you something with that fancy word attached. So I love that you appreciate understanding the difference, because I think we get ourselves into some trouble. Collaboration is a word that a lot of experts throw around, and we don't really know what it is sometimes. And so we get caught up in buying that thing because we think, okay, that must be what they're talking about, and it's not.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that up. Did you what did you benefit from the class besides learning that definition? Basically, what did you learn in Collab 101?
So many things again, Kim. But what I loved was the group that you created. That was so beneficial, because even if I was stuck for an idea, I could go back in and somebody else had put something in, and we could go back and forth and really start this big collaboration cycle. And by the end, after talking it out a couple times, it's like, oh, well, that wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. And I think for lots of people, myself included, that we often tend to make things way too hard. And when it comes to things like this, like collaboration, it's a beautiful thing, because all these minds are coming together and you get the best of everybody. And I just think that's a beautiful thing to watch happen.
Well, and I used the wrong word. You answered the right question, but I asked the wrong one, because I asked the same question twice and I didn't mean to. I meant, what did you benefit from it? And that's what you answered. So you did good. You helped me. So I want to get into what it is that you really are all about, because the thing that I love about collaborating is when you collaborate with people who are doing their own thing and they're clearly on a mission and they are moving forward in their business. It's amazing to me, and I say it all the time, but when the boats, are on the water and we're all taking the little pails of water to the water and we're making the water rise, all of the boats rise. So I can't fail if I, help your boat rise, because mine does too. So tell me about this chief dreamer and repurpose queen, and tell me what it is your business is on a mission to do.
So this is a great question, because since I've been in the collaboration class and we've done some collaboration and something really amazing came from that, and we'll talk about that later in the week, it's really just been such an interesting thing to watch this whole process unfold of, working together and making things happen. But really, when it boils down to it, what I really do, like at the heart of everything that I do, is helping other people, other creators of all ages, really share their messages in a much bigger way, rather than just blogging, or rather than just doing a video, or rather than doing just an audio. I'm showing them how to take one thing they've created and turn it into multiple things, which is why I know you call me the repurpose queen, because anymore in my business, I don't do anything unless I know specifically I can use that thing as many other things. And I think no matter who I'm working with, I love working with families and kids, and really showing kids that they have the power to make this happen too. Just because they're a kid does not mean who they are and what they do is any less valuable than the rest of us. And the fact that they can learn to do these things as kids, and then take those skills, go out there and serve others, and fund their own life's adventures, whether that be college or a car. And I work with lots of business owners who even don't have kids. However, they have this message that's burning inside of them, and I can see it. I can see this little light flickering. And what I want to do is pour gasoline onto this fire for them and show them the steps to put into place to make much of it happen automatically.
Yeah. And see, you win me every time when you start talking about that, because we already are busy. Mm-hmm. Like, we already are busy either raising our families, doing business, doing multiple things in the community with our, we just have so many draws on our time. And when you speak, I think one of my love languages of being able to automate something so that I can actually remove myself from the time, factor. Mm-hmm. You have taught me, and I will tell you, we will be talking more about like one thing in particular later in the summit. But I will say, you have taught me so many ways of automating things and have given me back some time. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the part that's funny to me, is when I tease you about being the repurposed queen, it's because you have blessed me with more time in my week, because I have figured out how to work things out in a different way, work less on things, and actually increase the reach that I have online.
And that's huge too. And that brings me so much joy when you tell me it has saved you time, because now when you're saving time, you can reinvest that into your relationships, whether it's your husband or your kids or any significant others, your friends. I mean, that's what life's about, right? We're building this business in order to serve lots of people. And we sometimes forget to serve ourselves by taking a step back and slowing down. So what this whole process does, that I love to take people through, is really get them to slow down, to consider where they're going, and then put steps into place, put some automations into place. So when it's all done, they're saving a lot of hours. And I think I usually say around, it'll take you 30 minutes a week to do this. But after that, above and beyond that, because of the time savings, I mean, it really adds up to 3 or 4 hours in a week. And can you imagine if you had 3 or 4 hours in a week left to do stuff? That's kind of how I have been all this week, because I've automated so much stuff. I got to yesterday and I thought, wait, I have finished everything I wanted to do for the entire week, and it's only Wednesday. And that is what I love to teach people.
And I love that you share, because I think this is one of the things that sometimes when we find a secret, we want to hide it. We want to not share that it's actually easier than we thought. But the amazing part, you are very generous as well. And, you have give an opportunity to those in the collaboration class. And I will say one of the things about the class that I love the most is the people in it. You know, that community and that group that gets to know each other pretty well. And I think that you have been open and generous in that class to share things that had nothing to do with like the class part that what I'm teaching. It has to do with you're demonstrating exactly what it looks like. And I love that. I feel like that is such a blessing back to me, just so you know.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been such a blast to be in your group. And I think I came in really not knowing sort of what I was getting myself into, right? And then on the other side of these, 8 weeks? Not very long. I mean, in the big scheme of our lives, like it's a very short time to commit to learning some really fundamental things. And then to come to the other side and the world just feels completely different. Like the lenses in my glasses have been changed or something, because all of a sudden I can see things that were probably there the whole time, but I wasn't really thinking in those terms. So now I can look around and like, oh, that could be a collaboration and that could be a collaboration. Oh, and this person and I can do something together. And that's where it gets really, really fun.
You are ruined for life because now you know the difference.
Well, you know mine too, so I guess we're even, huh?
Exactly. I think it's so amazing though to see you, because one of the missions that you are on, like you said, was to help families and to help kids be able to fund themselves. A lot of times I feel like, you know, we disqualify because of age, whether it be young or old. We disqualify people who can actually do so much more than what they know they can do.
Right.
I love that you're empowering this generation with technology, with like, I love how you'll have to correct how I say it because I'm sure I'll misquote you, but you know, the whole their devices, helping them come together with their devices instead of, you know, the families fighting and pulling apart. You're actually drawing families together with their devices.
Yes, and before I became the chief dreamer of Our Young Creators, I ran a performing arts school for 17 years. So kids have always been a part of what I've loved about teaching. And so for a while, I got away from that. So now to come full circle and see my own kids learn these things, and then they're going out there helping others manage their social media accounts, helping them put their blog posts together, helping them make sure their videos look good online. That's a big deal because, you know, they're wanting to be on their phones and on their computers anyway. So why not just give them some skills where when they're on it, they're intentional with how they're using it. So if we can raise this generation to be intentional rather than just sporadic and really addicted to their devices, you know, giving them skills, feeding them all these good things and opportunities that they can take with them throughout their lives. And maybe the first thing we do together is not their favorite, but at some point where they're going to find something and they say, yes, that's it. And they can kind of go and run. And as parents, to be able to give that to our kids, to recognize that, yes, you know, I'm on my device a lot, they're on their device a lot, but we don't really know how to be any different. So what I'm really giving them is an opportunity to take what they're already doing, come together, really start to bond over how they're using those things. Because of course, as we all know, kids are just, they have such a deep understanding of technology. I mean, if you need to set up your new iPhone or your iPad, you know, just grab the 10-year-old down the street because in 5 minutes, it'll be done for you. You know, and as we get older and we're not accustomed to all these changes so quickly, it becomes a little more challenging. So why not take the best of both worlds? The kids who are like total natives on these devices and us parents who sometimes struggle, and bring it all together so we can uplift one another. And who knows? I mean, I would love to see these families build businesses together, or have these parents bring their kids into their own businesses, because then it becomes something different entirely when it's not just you, the solopreneur, But now you have your kids, and maybe you have your neighbor's kids, and maybe you have some kids from church that you know that need someone's hand to hold on this journey in life. I mean, bring them in too. I mean, they don't even have to be your own kids. But because these kids are going to be who's going to be leading the country, leading the world when, we're much older, I know that I definitely want to make sure that they're approaching life with intention, and especially intention in how they're using their technology, because they're going to be the ones to make everything that's coming new that's down the road.
Oh, I so agree. I look back and laugh because when I was a teenager in high school, I was like so privileged because I had one of the old bag phones in your car. There was no such thing as a cell phone. There was no such thing as, all the things that are just normal. Everyone has one now. But then it was such a different thing. And the crazy abilities that the kids have to come up with solutions to problems.
Yes.
That we can come up with solutions to problems, but they're the ones that are going to actually create the technology. They're the ones that are going to actually create those solutions in a much better way.
Right. And they can only do that if we give them permission to try. Right now, when they're this age, we need to let them try to do things, or teach them how to do certain things, or find collaborators and do things together. But we just need to let them try, because if we just tell them to get off their phones and get off their games, I think we're missing a huge opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you're onto something really big, that could actually bring generations together and parents and children together. But I know that's only part of what you do on the daily. You also help people that are like kindergarten princesses who also need to have the ability to use technology. And you have such a way of tying both worlds together. I love that you even tell us we can borrow the kids. We can go and borrow the neighbors' kids if we want to do something to have them be part of it. And I love that you're actually even helping business owners understand to connect to the local community, really. If we don't have kids at home, my youngest is 28 years old. And so, I don't have babies at home. Mm-hmm. But that was one of the cute things that you told me was I could go find one and borrow.
Yeah, the rent-a-kid service, right?
Well, there's lots of kids who like are maybe at home because their mom, is single parent and would love to have an hour or two to herself, or would love to have. And I think that's another really amazing part of everything you do. It has so many dimensions. I think that's the part that's so sexy, is it's not just a single purpose. It's very dimensional and very intentional in those dimensions to change families, change businesses, and change communities.
Yeah, so I have a challenge for all of you, should you choose to accept it, if that's okay, Kim. So my challenge for all of you would be to take today and tomorrow and just write down all the activities that you are doing on a daily basis. How much time are you spending doing emails? How much time are you spending posting to social media? Write all that down. And at the end of 2 or 3 days, maybe you'll start to see some patterns. So the things that are repeatable are those tasks that kids are really good at, because you teach them how to do one thing and they can do it for you all the time. I mean, if you could do that, if you could have somebody, the neighbor's kid, or like you said, a single mom who works a lot and her kids are home, and you can be that mentor for those kids. I mean, it's all about using your gifts, seeing potential in these kids and saying, hey, I see you over there and I see that you love XYZ. I would love to give you an opportunity to come sit and work with me and learn these skills if you're open to that. It's one thing to tell them to do it, but when you ask them with integrity and you say, I really just value you. I see that you love to watch videos. Do you think that, You could make videos like that. Cool, okay, let's go make some videos. And then it becomes, do you think you could help me in my business make videos? And I'm happy to compensate you for that because it's a huge skill. I mean, just all these little conversations. So one, take a look at your time, and then think about the kids in your life that you know, in your social circles. It could be a volunteer organization. It could be your local church. It could be literally just in your neighborhood cul-de-sac. There is at least one kid who could fit, into this whole idea of learning something valuable, teaching them to be self-sufficient, and then having them help you in your business. And then you can introduce them to the multitude of people who need them.
Yes.
I mean, that would be the challenge is, keep track, think about a kid, figure out what could be a match, and then start having conversations.
Well, I will tell you, I was amazed when I first started listening to your lives about your girls doing things for you. Mm-hmm. And I actually chuckled probably out loud the first time you said something about them doing it, because I'm thinking, while that's awesome, I mean, I have a big business. I don't want to have a kid in there doing something. And then I saw some of their work and I'm like, they do better than some adults, including me.
And that's the coolest part is that, I was a little tentative at first too. And the whole business all started with the question, I wonder what if? Because I had a virtual assistant who lived in the Philippines at the time. And, things were not going so great. I was like, I need to replace her, but I don't know that I want to invest the time right now to do that. So I took a lot of stuff back onto my plate. And all of a sudden I was like, no, this is not nothing is getting done because there's too many things. And so I started having conversations with my youngest, who was a little more amenable to the idea. She was 11 at the time. It's only been just last fall. But when I said, hey, I kind of said, do you want to learn how to do these things? And when we do them, we can snuggle up on the couch. We can work on our own laptops and we can have a cup of cocoa and we can just, one, spend time together, most importantly, and then two, can I teach these things to you? And then something really magical happened. I would teach her these things, and before I knew it, the things she was creating were so much better than what I could have even have imagined. And I thought, whoa, this is really, really cool. And so when I started sharing this story with other entrepreneurs who were raising kids and businesses, they said, ooh, we would like some of that because, we're struggling with how much time do we spend in our business versus with our kids. And there's always this dichotomy of one or the other. But now I'm saying, nope, both of them are going to come together. And now you're going to make more magic together than you thought possible. Because again, it's a collaboration where 2 heads or 3 heads, however many kids you have and however many want to be involved, you get to collaborate, and then you get to build this business that's already supporting your family, but they're learning what it means to support the family and be able to provide, which I think is a really, really, really important lesson for kids these days.
But that's the dimensional. Mm-hmm. That's another dimension of what you're doing. You're getting to be with them. They're learning intentional, skills. They're learning actual skills that they can get paid for. And how crazy is that they also learn that responsibility is, as you're doing something together. I love your mission. I love you. I think that you are on a incredible journey with your babies and other people's babies. And some of us older babies. I think that's another thing. You have taken on quite a few of us entrepreneurs who we need you. And I appreciate the fact that you've shown up and helped in so many ways with the automation and repurposing. And you just have so much to offer this world. And I'm thankful, so thankful that you've been a part of my life and a part of this journey and a part of this class. I still have to say this class was, better because you were in it.
Aw.
And that makes me so proud. It makes me so want to sing your praises on the rooftops, because I see what you're doing to change the world. I see what you're doing to help so many people, and it's so not complicated. I think that's the big thing. It is so simple that people almost are hesitant to believe it's true.
Yes, life is messy already. We don't need to add more mess. We need to clean up some messes and make things more simplistic, and then just take a step back and look at what you've created. And Kim, I just want to thank you too for putting together this collaboration class, because I have learned so much, more than you could possibly ever know. And the fact that we were able then to make our own little collaboration was, I mean, just magic. And so you have blessed me so much in my life in such a short span of time, because really, I think we've only known each other for, 4 or 5 months. I mean, it has not been very long. And I feel like I already know you, because when you teach, you give so much of your heart and you show us who you are on the inside. And I just so appreciate having you in my life, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we both owe a big shout out and thank you to Tiffany Bymaster, because she's the one that actually gave us the place to get introduced. And so I think that that's another thing too. I'm very happy that we have connected, because I will say, and I just texted this to you, I think yesterday, I think we're lifers, because there's so much to be done, and I think we can do it together.
Absolutely. Yes. So it's always a privilege, Kim, to talk to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And if you're listening, we are thankful that you're here with us too. Yong is actually going to do another session tomorrow about something that we collaborated on that actually came to fruition over this last weekend. Yeah. And I can't wait to share that too, because it's a demonstration of what is possible. So that to me is very exciting. Hopefully you guys are having a great day and learning a lot from the guests on the graduates from the Collaboration 101 class. And just know that we are here to serve you. We are here to help you figure out some things in business that maybe you haven't been taught. Maybe it's been muddy and not clear. And clarity does come through the movement. And I'm excited that you're here. We're going to be back at 11 for the next session. Please join us and connect with Yong. If you want to do things in a much sexier, automated way, she is your girl. Learn how to repurpose from the Repurpose Queen. So we'll see you at 11 Central Standard Time. Love you guys.
Bye.